All right. Well, I love the energy in the room. It's been fantastic so far. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Again, good afternoon. Welcome back to everyone who joined us earlier for the elevator pitch round, and welcome to all the new guests and students who are joining us for the grand finale. My name is Shruq Al-Mallah. I'm the director for the Richard and Helen DeVos Center for Entrepreneurship Innovation here at the Seidman College of Business at Grand Valley State University. And it is my pleasure to welcome all of you for the inaugural Michigan Collegiate Startup Challenge, a statewide venture competition designed to foster entrepreneurial talent across colleges and universities in Michigan. As I mentioned earlier, we would have loved to have all of you here on our campus. It's nice and sunny here in downtown Grand Rapids, but unfortunately, COVID had other plans. But we hope to see you again in the future. This competition is intended to be statewide, and it will rotate across the universities and colleges in Michigan. And we're happy to announce that next year, Michigan State University will be the co-host for MCSC. I want to start by acknowledging and thanking all the MCSC finalists who were pitching earlier today and in this round. We were talking earlier, it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's not easy to put yourself in this position with all your commitments. Reflecting back on many of us when we were at your age, none of us were doing this. So kudos to you. It's really impressive that what you're doing, and we want to encourage you to keep moving forward. Take advantage of the connections you've made here today with other students, faculty, judges, and the overall, amazing entrepreneurial ecosystem here in West Michigan. So this is the final round for the MCSC. We're excited to see what you guys came up with. I wish you all good luck, and I hope you enjoy, this part of the program. As I mentioned earlier, this event would not be possible without the generous support of our community sponsors and partners. On behalf of all of my colleagues, the students, the faculty, I want to extend our sincere appreciation for Amway and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for their support for this new program. And specifically, I want to extend a special thank you to my good friend, Denise Graves from the MEDC, who's been with us all along as a great partner and advocate for our students and for these kinds of programs to take place on our campuses. So thank you so much for the support and making this happen. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned earlier, this is designed to be a statewide collaborative event, and I would like to extend a sincere appreciation to all the faculty and the students who are taking part in this program, representing other colleges and universities in Michigan, including Central Michigan University, Eastern Michigan University, Western Michigan University, Michigan State University, and Lawrence Duck University. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of this program. And I also want to extend a special thank you to Lori Fisher, Director of Operations at the Burgess Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at MSU. Lori and MSU, they've been our co-hosts and supporters and thought partners for this initiative since day one. So we really appreciate, the support and collaboration, and we look forward to seeing this competition take place at your campus next year. Next slide, please. We have mentioned this earlier, but the MCSC had multiple rounds, including an online executive round. And I'd like again to take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge all the judges and reviewers who took time out of their busy schedules to participate and review all the executive summary applications we received to help select the finalists you're going to see pitching here today. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that. So really, we can't say thank you enough. And thank you so much, for helping us get to this point today. And last but not least, I do want to extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude for all the GVSU and CEI faculty, students, and staff who've been working behind the scenes making this happen. It's been months in the working, and it takes a lot of effort, all the breakout rooms, the coordinations, the 50,000 spreadsheets we have to manage this. And it's all because we have a great team. So thank you, Ashley Jefferson, Sina Nuruzi, Joey Yak, Hunter Milik, Emily Hahn, Tom Koch, and Dr. Tim Seifert for all your help and support in making this program happen. So my favorite entrepreneur of all time is Walt Disney. And in one of his famous quotes, he said, the best way to get started is to stop talking and begin doing. So with that, I'm gonna stop talking now, turn this over to my colleague, Tom Koch, entrepreneur in resident here at GVSU, who's gonna be the MC for this event and to get us started. So good luck, everyone, have fun, and thank you everyone for being here. Tom, it's all yours.
Yeah, great. And I get the Roy Disney quote, which is, yes, Walt, stop talking. It's my turn now. Welcome to the Grand Startup Challenge. In this round, we're going to have teams pitching for 5 minutes. They're going to go through their presentation, which includes the slide deck. And at the end of that 5 minutes, each of the judges is going to get, not each of the judges, but the judges in total will get 2 to 3 questions to ask the team and follow up on anything they might have seen in that presentation that's of interest. After that, we're going to take 45 seconds for the judges to record the score, and the next team will go up. So we're going to move through relatively quickly, and the scores will be posted at 5 o'clock. So we'll get through this. We'll then have a short break and go into the scores. So without further ado, I do want to thank the judges and let everyone know who those folks are. So if we can go on to the next slide. We're really pleased to have one of our sponsors and a judge today, Denise Graves from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Thanks a lot, Denise. And from, I always just say Rainier, but Rainier Perigo, Kim Babusik. From Amway, who's also one of the sponsors, Zach Wall. Our good friend Raul Alvarez from Well Designed Studio, and Jeff Erdley from SunMed. These are a great panel of judges. We really thank you for taking the time on a Friday afternoon. We know it's not always the easiest to slip out on a Friday afternoon, especially on a beautiful day like today. So we appreciate it. Next, we're going to talk about the teams and jump into the presentations. So we have a great group of teams. We're really excited to have them. And the first team that is up is Subleasify. So what we're going to do, like I said, is jump right into these presentations. Subleasify, if you can get ready to share your screen, we'll go. You'll have 5 minutes, then we'll go to the judges' questions.
All right, excellent. Thank you everyone for being here. This is a fantastic opportunity. I'll share my screen and get us started. All right, hi everyone. My company is Subleasify. I'm Brian Lenzine. Subleasify is a web-based platform designed for property management companies to insource sublet services rather than outsource them, which is what they currently do. I've experienced subleasing problems myself, and I know many others have, especially with COVID-19. People need to get out of their lease contracts. And right now, the sublease process is a little outdated and it's not efficient. The problem is that property management companies are losing money and opportunity costs. I've contacted many college towns and cities and spoke to leasing agents, and I asked them, do you offer sublets? And if the answer is no, it's because they don't have an incentive to do that. There's no reason, because they already have their tenants on a hook. They already have their contract, their money. So there's really no reason for them to have a sublet policy. If they do have a sublet policy, then they don't offer a platform for their tenants to use. So their tenants are supposed to go to Airbnb or Facebook Marketplace. And for example, if they do go to Facebook Marketplace, then they'll make that transaction with the subtenant, and there'll be a sublet fee, and Facebook's is 3%, and that 3% will go to Facebook, and that's their revenue, which is lost money for the property management companies. The simple solution is to insource sublets. So Subleasify is a simple platform. It combines all the payments, all the paperwork, the entire screening process to improve safety, all into one platform. And then of course, to increase revenue, the most important part it has that sublet fee, and that will go to the property management companies, and that's their incentive. I've spoken to a lot of leasing agents, like I mentioned, and I've gotten a lot of validation, a lot of positive feedback from them saying that this could be an idea, this could be a platform that could help them. What that platform will look like, it's about 70% complete right now. We have a launch date for December 1st, but it has a user-friendly sign-up, shareable listing page, in-app messaging, and real-time notifications. Right now, we just need to add DocuSign and Stripe integrated into the platform. The business model, of course, first to acquire our customers, which are the property management companies in both cities and college towns. This naturally will increase our platform traffic as tenants use the Subleasify as their subleasing policy. Then they'll use the platform, and then of course to monetize, this also comes naturally when they use the platform, a 2% fixed sublet fee for every transaction, and then expand Texas, New York, California. All three of those states lead in apartment stock, but they also lead in total number of universities. Our competitors, I mentioned how property management companies are outsourcing to Airbnb and Facebook and other companies, but a huge one is property management companies who don't have a sublet policy. So the question is, how could we get them to have to start using the sublet policy? And we need a good sales pitch for that. And our sales pitch is, like I mentioned, to give them an incentive. So you can see that they would be a lot more profitable if they did use Subleasify, but also it's a win for them and it's a win for their tenants, because their tenants in this specific example would have a termination cost of around $4,000, but the sublet fee for their tenant is only around $1,800. And then lastly, how these funds would be used. I mentioned finishing the platform. That's our product costs. We want to finish by December 1st. And then the rest would be expenses for 2022, our maintenance fee. So as we acquire customers, we want to be able to implement everything into the platform, and that's where that money will go towards. Thank you so much for listening. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Great. Thanks a lot, Brian. And now we'll open the floor for the judges to ask 2 to 3 questions, Brian and Subleasify.
Brian, this is Jeff Erdley. Thanks for taking the time and obviously explaining it to us. It's very interesting. I guess, you said you're 70% of the way done. What does that customer experience look like? And I feel like obviously the easier, the better, but I guess, can you kind of step us through how you anticipate, daily workflow for a customer?
Yeah, so a customer is our property management companies. And so I've spoken to leasing agents. I haven't been able to show them a finished product yet,
okay,
but it would just work as we would agree upon them using it as their policy. And it would be very simple because this would be in the app store and it would be a website. So all they would really have to do is give Subleasify, give us the paperwork and the contracts. We would implement it into the platform, and then they would list Subleasify, just say, download the app or go to the website, and then their tenants would be able to use it very easily.
So I guess, is that 70%, that is the app that you're working on, or is it a website, or?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. So
okay,
the 70% it's both. Both the website and the app are about 70% complete.
Okay.
Brian, this is Denise Graves. So carrying it out just a little bit more, I must be a slow learner on a Friday afternoon. This is a policy play. And then you said the tenants can use it. Like, who is putting that apartment or what have you back in the market stock? And who is responsible for showing it, taking care of it and moving it through the process to make sure that it gets sublet?
Yes. So the workflow of it would be, first, property management companies, like I said, they'll just list it and their tenant will download the app. And so that's what the platform is. It's a page where you can list your room. So their tenants would just hop on, and it would look very similar to what an Airbnb looks like. And you would list your room and communicate and find a subtenant. But the workflow of it stays connected within the property management company. So when they do make that transaction, we want to use DocuSign and Stripe, so that DocuSign will send an email to the property management company that this happened, and it'll also send it to the tenant and the subtenant. So everyone's connected, and the payment will be broken up automatically when that transaction happens. A portion of it will go to the property management company. That's how they make money. And then a portion of it will go to Subleasify. That's how we make money.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Brian. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transition and allow the judges to have 60 seconds to record their scores. We're giving it a little bit longer than last round for those that were watching at home, just because there's some more questions this round. But the next team that's going to be up on stage is Sportwatch. So while they take the stage, thanks a lot, Subleasify and Brian.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So Seth, you can begin sharing when you're ready.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Seth,
Yep.
can you hear me all right?
I
Yep.
can.
Sound good, Matt?
And I'll let you know when the minute is up so you guys can get started.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see this all right, Seth?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Matthew and Seth, the stage is yours. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Very glad to see everyone here. My name is Matt Laux, and today I'm joined by Seth Byrne. We are both co-founders and developers at Sportwatch. So, as former track athletes, Seth and I noticed that despite how interconnected everything is, the track space has been lagging behind. So at a track practice, you'd see the coach with a clipboard, and for every athlete that runs by, the coach would write down their time. And it gets very tedious very quickly because there's a lot of athletes coming through, and then afterwards they all want to see their time, and the coach is flipping through pages, and he just doesn't have time to keep up with all of this. And because of that, the team suffers as a consequence, because in track and field, in cross country, and in running sports, it's very important to have your time down, so then you can get a sense of direction as far as where you're going. And the clipboard practice, it's not very effective, it's really tedious, and it's not very smart. So that's why Seth and I came up with Sportwatch. So in direct collaboration with some of these local high school track coaches and cross-country coaches, we were able to develop a tool that would synchronize times across the entire team seamlessly. So when the athlete crosses the finish line, the coaches tap on their name, it records the time for that event, and everyone on the team can see it. And not only that, but they could also see a personalized graph of their progress anytime throughout the season. So we designed this tool for coaches and for teams. And with that, I'd like to transition to Seth, who's going to talk about the business a little bit more. Seth?
Thanks, Matt. So as Matt alluded to, there's a problem and we created an elegant solution, but the solution is only as good as the people it benefits. In this case, the people that stand to benefit the most are track and field and cross-country coaches. As of 2018, there were roughly 29,000 high schools throughout the US with about 1 million runners in both those sports. So there's a large market share and a lot of people that stand to benefit from this solution. Given that it is a large market, it's not surprising that there are other platforms and companies aimed at targeting this audience. For example, Strava, which is focused more on the individual runner, and athletic.net, which is a competition-based data repository. However, Sportwatch is unique in that it is tailored for coaches specifically, tailored for practices, and it connects athletes to their data seamlessly. With those other platforms in mind, we priced our annual membership model around those prices. So we settled around $50 per year. In terms of our expenses, they stem mainly from data storage and app publication fees, and that can be expected to grow a little bit as usage increases, but largely they'll remain around that 275, 300 range as we continue to grow. So with those two metrics in mind, we constructed a 3-year projection, 36 months out, with a goal of 30 to 35 new memberships acquired every 6 months. And so at the end of 3 years, we're looking at around $12,000 in profit annually. So that's kind of a little bit of background of who this benefits and how we make money. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Matt to talk about our future plans. Matt?
Thank you very much, Seth. So as far as bringing this product to the market is concerned, we already have a website and we already have this app published to both iOS and Android. And so far, we've also seen over 30 coaches sign up for a trial account. So there's definitely been some interest in it. And moving forward, we really hope to increase the number of active users. So get more coaches using our platform, get interest in it, and show people really what's possible, what they can do with Sportwatch. And as far as the allocation for the funding goes, we hope to attend the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association Conference. It's a really long acronym, but it costs $12,000 to become a supporter. And with that, we get a booth. We get to speak with hundreds of different coaches. We get a 1-page newsletter ad and a quarterly newsletter. And it would really be a tremendous opportunity to be able to grow and proliferate our program. It's the largest conference for track and field and cross country in the United States. And we would definitely be able to grow our product there. And with that, that is Sportwatch. So thank you all for listening, and I'm looking forward to any questions.
So
That's great. 2 consecutive teams under the time limit. Let's go ahead and have 2 to 3 questions from the judges.
Yes, a quick question on the $12,000 sponsorship. What's your return on investment for that, given your projected sales?
It depends on how many people actually sign up. So we can run a model, we can run the numbers, seeing what works, seeing how many, depending on how many people actually sign up from the conference. But we're definitely hoping to see that milestone being hit for attending that conference.
Hey guys, as a cross-country runner and someone who still watches cross-country meets on TV, my coach back then would have appreciated this app. Here's my question. Assuming, I love the idea of the $12,000 sponsorship because that's as grassroots as you get. But that was a great question posed by Kim. How are you going to track your ROI? Because I'm wondering what you had in mind as to what is going to be a call to action when you're there. The $12,000, buys you access to that. I mean, to me, it's all about marketing. What else are you going to do? If you don't do that, what are you going to do to market to these coaches? I mean, you're right, the audience is there, but how are you going to approach them and access them short of the $12,000, for example, that you want to invest? I'm not suggesting it's a bad investment. I'm just asking, what else are you doing to attract these coaches?
That's a great question. Thank you. So as far as fallback goes, so say we don't decide to go to this conference, we also had plans for digital marketing as well as getting banners up around local high schools. So around the track, we can put up banners. A lot of high schools have a lot of these banners up, for local companies and stuff like that. So that would be one other avenue that we could allocate this funding. But we're really thinking of going to this conference because, like you're saying, the biggest thing that we need to worry about is marketing and getting the word out and letting coaches see it. And we feel as though the best way to do that is by going to one of these conferences and speaking to these coaches.
And if I could just add something real quick to that, we do have plans to do some in-person and direct to schools marketing. So we have done some previous email campaigns where we've, it's pretty easy to find this contact information for especially the high school level coaches because their email is listed publicly. So that's another avenue that we think we'll continue to do regardless of if we attend the conference, because it's, like you said, very grassroots. We're not opposed to visiting high schools and talking with coaches there in person. I'm a big fan of being there, I think a lot of the communication is lost maybe in email and stuff like that. So that's just another way that we're planning to increase our awareness.
Good, thanks.
All right.
All right,
Thanks
one
a lot,
quick
Matthew
question
and
for me,
Seth.
if I can, Tom.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, this is Zach Wall. Good job, guys. You mentioned you had 30 users, 30 coaches set up for a trial. What have you learned from that trial that they've done that you might apply to any adjustments, changes you might want to make to what you set up so far?
We definitely need to look at the specifics of the trial. So, how long it lasts, how many people, that's something that we definitely take into consideration. How many people they add to their team, how long they actually keep with the trial, and if they happen to ask any follow-up questions.
And just to add to that real quick, one
Okay.
big lesson we learned really quickly, early on, was that adding athletes was sort of an obstacle that coaches were getting stuck on. So we added an easy way to add athletes. So it just takes their name and their gender, and the coach can add an athlete instantly. Previously, the athlete actually had to have an account. So that's sort of one concrete lesson we learned from those early trials.
Right, great. And that's our 2 to 3 questions. Now we're going to give the judges a minute to record their scores. Thank you, Matthew and Seth, for presenting. I myself am a track and field geek, not as big as Raul, but my son's a high jumper. So when you can figure out a high jump app, I'll let you know.
I don't know if you could say geek and track and field in the same sentence, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And after the minute is up for the judges to record their scores, we're going to have Follow Me MD. So Follow Me MD, if you could get ready to present, that would be great.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. And are you able to see the PowerPoint?
I can, yes. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. And without further ado, Follow Me MD. The stage is yours.
Awesome. Thank you. So my name is Tony Sassine, and our company is Follow Me MD. And our goal is pretty simple. We want to help medical students get the shadowing opportunities they deserve. As a medical student myself, I, like many of my peers, have struggled with choosing which medical specialty I want to apply to for residency. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and dedicate many years of our lives studying, yet we'll only get 1 year of clinical experience before we have to choose the specialty that we will do for the rest of our career. 1 year of rotations is not enough exposure, especially since there are almost 135 medical specialties to choose from. That is why with Follow Me MD, we hope to build a networking platform aimed at connecting medical students to practicing physicians in their area. The goal is to have MD holders provide the opportunity for students to shadow them, and hopefully that would help broaden the student's understanding of his or her possibilities for the future. So the way it would work is basically a physician from the community would post a date and time that they would be voluntarily willing to have a student shadow them. And me, as the medical student, I hop onto the platform and, well, today, let's say I'm interested in shadowing in cardiology, and I'm free on November 16th. And then I click search and I get Dr. Sell. He's got 3 reviews from other medical students. He's available from 1 to 5. So I quickly reserve that, and that's it. So our main customers are medical students in their 1st, 2nd, and 4th year, because they're the ones who actually have time to shadow. And each year there are roughly 150,000 students across 200 medical schools that would be the target. In terms of our business model, we sent out a survey to medical students and found that a subscription-based model of $10 for the 1st year best fits this demographic because of their income and inconsistent use of the platform. And our best way to reach these customers is through the medical channels themselves, like the specialty interest groups and medical school administration. And by building the relationship with the medical school and their students, not only will we be able to provide them with a more specialized experience, but also we get access to their physicians without any recruiting from our end. And then finally, we would also hope to work with hospitals directly, because our platform would help save recruiting costs, and we also get access to the physicians. So in terms of our competition, due to COVID, new companies like Heal and Med School Coach have risen in the sector, trying to offer students virtual shadowing experiences. But their customer is pre-medical students. So shadowing experiences between medical students and pre-medical medical students is drastically different, because medical students actually require a much more hands-on approach. So they actually need to be there in person. And that's what Follow Me MD provides. Also, unlike our competitors, we allow for flexibility in time, and we allow the student to choose which specialty they want to see, which is something that the others don't. So in terms of our leadership team, our team is uniquely suited to build this company because of our versatile specialties. For now, the team consists of myself, an MD, MBA student, who obviously understands the end user's perspective. We have Mark, he's an engineering student with a coding background, and he's got a pretty extensive network across universities. And we have Rita, she's a marketing graduate who will be in charge of the company's social media presence. Then finally, we're currently looking for an individual with a programming background to help build the platform. In terms of our go-to-market strategy, we're currently working on connecting CMU medical students with Mid-Michigan Hospital Health System for potential mentorship. This partnership would be the first user of Follow Me MD, and we expect to be fully functional with the help of MCSC funds by next June. In addition, we'll be engaging directly with medical school specialty groups through social media to educate them about our product. Our goal is to use the first year as a proof of concept in hopes of being able to scale in the years after. And we are asking for $5,000 for platform building and early maintenance, and also $1,000 to host marketing and networking events. And then finally, we see Follow Me MD having many potential growth opportunities, such as going into other fields, such as nursing or even pre-medical students. And we also could add much more to the platform to provide more value for the people. Thank you for your time.
Great. That is actually 5 minutes. We've reached our time limit. Sorry to cut you off, but we have to be harsh with the rules here.
I was done. Thank you.
Yeah, for 2 to 3 questions. So judges, the floor is yours.
Hey, this is Raul. It's quite a concept. You're going to notice a pattern with me. I'm going to hit on the marketing because that's part of my gig, right? So
sure.
I brought down $1,000 for networking and marketing. Is that what I understood?
Yeah. So that's just initially to kind of have to host an event for basically an initial meet and greet type of thing. So basically try to get that was more specific towards Mid-Michigan. So we'd, host
that was my question. I wasn't sure if it was regional or if it was more, because you're going to need more if you're going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that was just initially, which is part of our go-to-market strategy initially.
Okay, cool.
And then for the rest of the marketing, we actually don't necessarily aim on spending too much for marketing, because it'll be really directly through social media, and we have someone on our team who could do that. So we don't really, they're not really going to be taking an expense on their end to do that.
All right, well, be careful with that is all I can tell you. It's all about marketing and getting people excited. You can't make that, you cannot not make it a priority.
Sure.
So.
Tony, this is Jeff. I really like this idea, and I've worked in the medical space my whole entire career, and have seen a lot of residents go through these decisions, not necessarily the best educated, but I can see this, and I could see it potentially working. Are you based on the east side of the state? Why did you pick Mid-Michigan and CMU?
So CMU, I'm from CMU, so I'm a medical student. And I know that, so our relationship with Mid-Michigan is pretty strong. So we actually have students who rotate there.
Okay.
And their recruiting team often contacts medical students to try to get them involved. So it's an easy partnership to definitely build on, and then
Totally
we can definitely scale from there.
Yeah, no, totally get it. That's why I was thinking, yeah, I'm based in Grand Rapids, so I was thinking, why wouldn't you go after Spectrum or University of Michigan or somebody big, or maybe that's down the road. But good work, man.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's definitely in the idea for later in the later years, because the first year we really just care about building the proof of concept and making sure that we can truly add value and show that we can add value to these hospitals and to the medical schools, so that they would obviously be interested.
Thank you.
Hey, Tony, real quick, this is Denise Graves. I think I saw you pitch last spring at the Central Michigan New Venture competition. So nice job. I like this idea. Remind me briefly how you're going to make money. You mentioned $10 for the subscription, I think, for the medical student, but then you talked about the hospital and then the med school or something. So are you looking at a revenue stream for those as well?
Yeah, so absolutely. So our goal with the first year, as I mentioned, it's so the $10 is directly to the students. So that's the initial goal that we want to try to do, because we want to keep kind of the keep testing things out initially. Once we provide the proof of concept, we do want to go directly to the medical schools. So medical schools in general do not easily, there's a barrier of entry for them, because they want proof basically that you're not only is their students interested in this, but also you actually add value. So it's much easier for us to later target the medical schools themselves and the hospitals, because we don't have to do any recruiting for physicians. In terms of the hospitals, like I mentioned, each hospital spends tens of thousands of dollars to recruit one physician. So we could definitely, they'd definitely be interested in building this partnership with them.
All right. Well, those are some great questions, judges. Thanks a lot, Tony, for your great pitch. We're now going to give the judges a minute to record their scores. And while we're doing that, iAgent Suite, you can get ready for your turn.
Thank you, guys.
Can you hear me? All right, great. Well, hello.
All right, James, from iAgent Suite, the stage is yours.
My name is James Hamer. I'm the founder of iAgent Suite, powering growth in residential real estate. While I was working on my previous startup, Picture It, a virtual staging service for real estate, I had conversations with hundreds of real estate agents from all over the country trying to better understand their pain points and struggles in their day-to-day lives as agents. What I found is that so many of them struggle with basic lead management, whether they're frustrated with the existing provider that they're using or are not using any lead management solution at all. And the tools that are available for these agents are not like the tools available for the general sales world, such as Agile CRM or HubSpot. Those are both incredibly powerful, easy to use, and inexpensive tools for the sales professional. The tools available for real estate agents are often either fairly inexpensive but have limited features, a steep learning curve, a wildly outdated and clunky user interface and user experience, and do not provide websites, or are far too expensive and far too complex for the average real estate agent. These outdated, clunky, and complicated interfaces plague the real estate CRM industry. These agents want something better, and that is exactly why I founded iAgent Suite. iAgent Suite has set out to introduce a website plus CRM solution that will bring real estate agents into 2021. Our platform is inexpensive, starting at only $149 a month. It's powerful while remaining easy to use. We offer in-depth onboarding to all of our customers to ensure that they understand and can utilize every feature we provide. We have a clean and intuitive user experience and user interface. Websites are included in all of our packages, and we have no contracts. We build out fully custom branded websites for each of our customers that are mobile friendly, have MLS listings so they can showcase local listings on their own branded website. Each website has Zillow listing search, Zillow-like listing search, so that their clients can search for their next home directly in their branded environment. And they have lead gen forms that integrate with our lead management platform, iAgent Suite Connect. With iAgent Suite Connect, agents can send out market reports, listing search updates, open home notifications to all of their leads, all without any extra effort on the agent's side. It's all automated. All the agent's leads and past clients are kept in one central location, so there's no longer any reason to forget about a potential client, forget about a lead, and miss out on potential commissions. We offer 3 packages for our single agents: Basic, Standard, and Expert at $149, $249, and $349 a month. Our profit margin sits at around 60% across our services. And after we've built out our own lead management platform and gone away with our current white labeled solution, our margins will sit at an expected 85%. There are 1.5 million real estate agents in the United States alone. Of these, an estimated 465,000 single agents and 31,000 brokerages lack an online presence and most likely are not utilizing a proper lead management solution, according to the National Association of Realtors. This represents a roughly $2 billion a year market based on our expected average revenue per customer. Obtaining 50,000 customers from the addressable market and from our competition in the next 5 to 6 years equates to roughly $130 million in annual recurring revenue. With the prize money, I will be able to offer free trials to our first few customers. This will accomplish 2 things. One, it will lower our customer acquisition costs, as there's a lower barrier to entry. There's no reason why someone wouldn't sign up. And it'll set us apart from our competition, as a majority of them do not offer free trials to their customers. Second, I'll be able to attend industry events such as real estate expos and conventions that happen quite often during the year in the United States, where I'll be able to pitch to agents, office managers, and broker owners. More of a top-down approach, pitching to office managers and owners, and a more efficient way to expand our customer base. That's iAgent Suite. I'm James Hamer. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thanks a lot, James. And now, as with the other presentations, we're going to open up to the judges for 2 to 3 good questions.
So one question on the app, you refer to a Zillow-like experience there. Any concerns with IP, and why not just directly link in with Zillow?
So the idea is that we're building out custom branded websites for these agents, and what we're providing them on that website is a Zillow-esque search. It's just an easier way to describe it, just to say it's like Zillow. It's nothing to do with Zillow. We just have the plugin for their website that creates a similar search experience. You know, where you can draw and you can outline a space. You can say, I want a house in the East Lansing area with 4 bedrooms and 3 acres of land. Send me notifications about that search.
Hi, James. It's Denise Graves. I think you got there in the end, but I might have missed it on the front of what is the problem that we're trying to solve. Have you done any customer discovery with local agents that are saying, gosh, you know, I missed a opportunity to go to a listing appointment, I missed this, or I missed, I mean, what specifically is the pain point that this could take away?
Absolutely. So there's a few pain points that, and that's what I'm working on, trying to figure out which one is the most impactful. But residential real estate is wildly competitive. It's hard for a regular person to distinguish between agents. They're seen as very interchangeable. So if, let's say, you start your home search 6 months before you want to buy a home, you reach out to an agent, say, hey, I might be looking to buy a home in the area in the next 6 months. What are my options currently? What's the market like? Without a provider like ours, that potential client can go to 10 other agents in the next 6 months and not think anything of it. If you sign them up on your website, they'll be getting that client, that lead, will be getting emails from you weekly with updates on the market and updates on searches that match their desired home. So it'll say, coming from Denise Realty, here's a home you might like. There's an open house this weekend if you want to come check it out. So that's kind of the idea, is that the issue is agents are seen as very disposable and interchangeable, and you want to be able to stand out in a wildly crowded and competitive industry.
Great, thank you. Customer discovery will be your friend.
Yep, absolutely. Well, actually, funny story. So my mom is a real estate agent since roughly 2010. So that's kind of how I've had these two startups in the real estate space, is they've grown out of her struggles and then further discovery with other agents. Yeah. So thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, James. Now we're going to give judges a minute to record their score. And next up will be Thigdu. So Thigdu, if you can get your technical stuff ready.
Yeah.
All right, it's been a minute. Kushan from Thigdu, take it away.
Okay. Well, hello, judges. Thank you all for being here. My name is Kushan Shah. I'm a CEO and founder of an upcycling denim company, Thigdu. Oh. Okay. Okay. Upcycling is the process of making something new from already existing items. Thigdu is a mission of seeing denim-based as a raw material and representing a new opportunity to design circular system by giving a new life to pre- and post-consumer denim waste. Thigdu is a word derived from Gujarati language, which literally means patches or scrapes stitched together to form a product. A little backstory: when the pandemic struck, I was forced to fly back home to India, where I almost spent an entire year. As I was looking for ways to fill up my free time, I started working as an intern for a jeans manufacturing unit. I was mainly working in the area where jeans were manufactured and washed. That is when I realized that there's significant amount of water and denim fabric that was being wasted every single day. Not only that, I also realized that the majority of the labor force in the denim industry or any other textile industry is women, and they are struggling to make a living. Even after working full-time, they're paid less than $3 a day. After that, I just knew I had to do something about it. That is when I came up with Thigdu. As I was doing some initial research on about the problem, I found out that it takes about 2,600 gallons of water to produce a single pair of jeans. That is the amount of water a normal person drinks in about 15 years. Approximately 450 million pair of jeans are sold every year in the United States, and the estimated waste generated by jeans is said to be 2.16 million tons. And the worst of all these dump is thrown into the third world countries like China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and all. My solution to this problem is Thigdu. For a better understanding of the solution, I've come up with this ecosystem, which is basically an example of what circular fashion looks like. Our solution starts with collecting pre and post consumer denim waste from different warehouses and factories across India. We collect those waste and bring it to our warehouse. And with the help of our designers and our women artisans, we make our final handmade product. These are some of the prototypes of our lifestyle products. We'll be launching Tigdu in January with through our own website first. At Tigdu, every product is different, recreated and upcycled. We believe that every customer will own one-of-a-kind product that is not only sustainable, but also affordable. People love to be emotionally involved in the things that they purchase. Every product will have the name of the maker inside it. Our customer can go to our website and know more about their makers. This is our home decor range. We are still into research and development with this range, and we plan to launch this range by the end of August next year. And our business model will be focusing on 3 P's. The first P is for planet, focusing on circular fashion, ethical production, and reducing environmental footprint. The second P is for supporting artisans. That is a very important thing for our company. We want to employ and train underprivileged women, and our aim is to give them an opportunity to increase their living standards. And the last P is for profit. Our manufacturing cost will be low because we're making everything from the waste, and our profit margin would be somewhere around 82%. And then we give 10% of our profit to the specific artisan, and then we take the rest of the profit. Our target market is postgraduates aged between 24 to 35, working people who live in the city with good revenues, strong values for fair trade, and support sustainable lifestyle. Through our market research, we also found out that 70% of our sales, like our clients, are drawn to our products because they're sustainable, ethical, and they love the idea. And the 30% of our clients are looking for anything ethical. They just want to buy the product because it looks good and contemporary. Our marketing strategy, social media platforms, paid online advertising, blogs that will educate our customers about the denim industry, collaboration with the retail brands, bloggers, and stylists that share the same goals so that we can also connect with their fan base. I'm the CEO and founder, junior at Grand Valley, double majoring in business management and entrepreneurship. This is Parshvini. She's my sister. She's also a designer at Tigdu, and right now she's also head design at Fashion Fair Apparels, which is a jeans manufacturing company. These are our women at Tigdu. Each and everyone has their own story and own goals, and we plan to achieve those goals. In the end, I just want to say that at Tigdu, you will not just be buying our product, you'll be contributing to our revolution. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kushan. And now judges, opportunity to ask 2 or 3 questions.
This is Kushan. Thank you for that. And obviously, there's a lot of variables here. Some important things you're trying to fix, which obviously we all appreciate. I think for me, how do you scale this? I mean, I know you have the team of 5, but I'm sure, how do you train those artisans? How long does that take? I know you want to launch in August, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around how you scale this up. Obviously, there's a ton of people doing jeans out there, and they're not going to, necessarily like you trying to cut into the profit margins. I'm just trying to think out loud. I don't know if you have some thoughts and feelings there.
Yeah, so we are actually launching in January with just our lifestyle products at first, and then we will go into home decor products. And the scaling one. So the team of 5, the 3 women that we have hired, they are already trained right now. And then we bring on other women in future, and those 3 will train the rest of them. So in the end, those 3 will become kind of like managers in our warehouses, and they will train the rest of our team.
What does that time frame look like, though, to train them? I mean, to be able to make a pair of jeans, does that take them 6 months, a year?
No, it will be very fast. And then we also we are also thinking about the women that we are hiring should be from the same line of business. So either they were previously working at a jeans manufacturing unit or any other textile industry, or there are some women in India that they just know how to sew and they are good at it, but they just don't have a time to get outside and work because they have to support their families and stuff. So we are also aiming that we will hire those kind of women and they can work through their houses, and then we sell them. We sell it through our own website.
So maybe a follow-up question here. Is this only an online presence? Are you looking to take this to retail? And then what do you anticipate end of year 1, end of year 3 sales to be? Because it gets to your scale factor. I had the same question on this.
Okay, so we are only going through online at first in the beginning, and then we plan on collaborating with the retail brands, or maybe we can go into retail. I haven't really thought about the retail one yet, but right now it's only online. And the sales thing, we haven't really gone out yet with the product. Like when we were doing our market research, we showed this product to our customers and asked them what they thought about this and stuff like that. That's how we came up with a market research, but we haven't really gone with the projection of the business.
I know we're,
Hey, Kushan, one
I know
additional
we're out of
question on
questions,
that.
but, oh,
Sorry?
that's it.
We got lots of questions, right, Denise?
Yeah, I love this. I'm like all over it.
I just have a similar question too about supply chain. You know, as you think about like raw materials coming in, you mentioned using pre and post consumer waste.
Yes.
You know, it sounds like there are a couple of factories and things that you're already aware of in the region where you can source, you know, some of these scrap materials. But, you know, have you thought at all yet about like, you know, what does that look like in the long run? Kind of to Kim's question too about scaling. You know, you have to think through that entire supply chain and how you make sure you have a consistent supply of materials to make your products from.
Yeah, so one of the biggest advantage of that is that my dad is also one of the biggest jeans manufacturer back in India. And so he has a lot of connections, and through that, I have developed many connections. So the waste that we gathered till now is gonna be expect that to last for next 6 months. So, and we got all that waste for free. There were just factories and manufacturers that say, oh, you're doing great, just take our waste. We don't need that waste. We're going to throw it away, so just take it. But there are a lot of manufacturers that they sell their waste, but we're not focusing on that. We're just getting the manufacturers to give the waste for us, like for free.
Just being in the industry where I'm concerned about distribution supply chain challenges, really think that through right now. I know it's a short-term horizon right now, but it's horrendous trying to move containers right now. So just factor that into your scale up thinking about it would be my recommendation.
All right. And with that, we are going to move on to give the judges a minute to record their scores, and then Blind AF will be up next. Thanks a lot, Kushan, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. And can you see my slide?
I can. Yeah. And you've got a few seconds, so you can take a deep breath. All right, Blonde AF and Jill, the stage is yours.
Great, thank you. Hope everybody's feeling healthy and happy this afternoon. In 2017, I walked into an optometrist office thinking I needed a new pair of glasses, and a week later was told that I would go completely blind within a few years. So as you can imagine, that was a pretty traumatic event and literally changed the world, the way that I see the world as a result. I'm Jill Hinton Wolf. I'm a US Army veteran, a serial entrepreneur, and a social innovation master's student at GVSU. I've worked in corporate PR for 20 plus years. I've run my own businesses, and I've spent my career selling products and services. So right now, there is no good bag options for visually impaired adults. Our best option is to use bags that are the wrong size, poorly designed, with hard to find zippers and pockets. Our canes stick out awkwardly. We look and feel ridiculous in job interviews and meetings. And with more and more Americans succumbing to vision loss, mostly due to diabetes, blind people like me are simply opting out of the workforce, choosing to take Social Security and just not navigate a world that was clearly designed for the sighted. So I invented a bag that was stylish, accessible, and empowered the blind to take control of their disability and find meaning and purpose in work and life. A bag that's lit from the inside, but also has hard tactile ways of sort of feeling your way around on the inside. And there's a place where I can securely and hygienically store my cane while I wash my hands, sign credit cards, slips, or shake the hands of important clients. So Blind AF is not just about a laptop bag, it's about empowerment. In the future, I see this line expanding into purses, crossbody bags, outdoor backpacks, and diaper bags. I see t-shirts and stickers and other branded gear. My big vision for Blind AF are products that are so uniquely designed and make such a bold statement that they strongly appeal to those rebels and early adopters that want a bag that stands out and makes a statement of support. More than a work bag, the Blind AF backpack is a symbol of empowerment for any of us who have ever felt like we were blinded to our own genius. So this market's driven by three major groups: business, students, and gamers. All of them are looking to safely and securely organize their tech. For my market, total addressable market is 69 million employed adults. The serviceable available market is 32 million visually impaired adults, and the serviceable obtainable market includes visually impaired working adults. But honestly, my vision for Blind AF is to grow my own market, empowering these clients to take risks and join the workforce in new and innovative ways. So these bags don't have to be just for the visually impaired. And I have kind of a cool case study to show about this. It's the Lit bag. It's in over 2,000 retailers nationwide. It's been featured on Oprah's favorite things list. Lots of important publications have featured it. Celebrities have endorsed it. And this is not just a bag for the visually impaired. It's a bag for women that just want to be able to see to the bottom of their purse. And I think we could all use something like this in our backpacks. So I've included a few similar laptop bags here just for a price reference. So here's our go-to market strategy, and it depends on two things. First, branding, then partnerships. And I've kind of got the branding down. I have a background in marketing, and plus I think the story that I tell about this product's pretty compelling. And I have a really good start on the partnerships as well. The VA has already told me that they're interested in buying my prototypes and want to talk about contracts once I find a manufacturer. I'd also want to partner with organizations like the DAV and the BVA to try and see if we can find some fundraisers or joint marketing that we could do together. So there are a lot of numbers on this slide, and clearly we won't have time to go over all of them, but I did want to show you that I crunched the numbers and did the work on this. I'm looking for more expertise when it comes to licensing manufactured products. So if anybody on this call has anybody that they want to connect me with, I'm all ears. So today I'm asking for your help in making the world a more empowered, more accessible place. This will be the first bag specifically designed for the visually impaired. With the money from this event, I can make more prototypes, start to market the bags, and get my first 50 customers through Kickstarter by the third quarter of 2022. I could also get help licensing the bag to the right manufacturer. I've designed a way to give the visually impaired a functional yet beautiful bag to organize their lives through a brand that empowers everyone to own their disability and see their struggles as a path to genius. Given the large number of visually impaired adults in the world today, and the many more sighted individuals who just want a better bag, there's a clear opportunity to meaningfully impact a huge portion of the population. So thank you, and I genuinely look forward to hearing your feedback.
Great, and right on time. So we can jump into the questions, 2 to 3 questions from the judges for Jill.
I don't know that I have a question. I wanted to make a comment though, but I enjoyed a great presentation. I enjoyed a number of things. One is the empowerment piece, which is huge. the lifestyle brand, which I think goes a long way in explaining what you're trying to do. When you're talking about the go-to-market, you have the right mix, I think, and your expertise is there, but I like the right mix. I in particular like the partnership idea. I don't think we see enough collaboration and partnership and connecting dots like that to make things happen. So no question, I just wanted to comment on that. Nicely done.
Thank you.
I know your next step is making those 6 working prototypes. Is it all the same design or 6 different designs? And what would set your design apart from the lit bag?
So my bag's actually a laptop bag. So I have the example over here. I'm happy to demonstrate it if anybody wants to see that. But the lit bag is really, it's just an insert that goes inside your purse and it's just lit. Whereas my bag on the inside, it has different fabrics to differentiate the product. So most of us aren't completely blind. We can still have some vision, but we still need to feel our way around inside to try to find like, where are my headphones and where's my pen and where my, all those things. So that's really what differentiates it. And then plus, here, I'll just grab it. One of the biggest things is just having this place for my cane. Like I'm always juggling my cane and it's dropping on the floor and it's embarrassing and unprofessional. So I think that's a huge differentiator as well.
Thank you. And I thought the presentation was well done as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, without further ado, thanks a lot, Jill and Blind AF. We're going to give the judges a minute to calculate their scores. And then we're going to have the next team, which is Kayak Shack, step to the stage. So Kayak Shack, you can do your tech check right now.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. And you can see the screen as well?
I can, yes.
Perfect, thank you.
You got about 30 seconds to take a deep breath and do some Zen stuff. All right, the stage is yours. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so hello everyone. Both my business partner, Selena, and I grew up in a small town between Ann Arbor and Detroit known as Belleville, Michigan. After realizing that we grew up in the same town, even though we didn't meet until college, we came to the conclusion that we had a very similar pain point in our childhood. And frankly, now for that matter, there's nothing for us to do in town. After we took this revelation into consideration, we decided that we need to do something about it. And who better to add value to Belleville than the people who are a product of this environment? We knew that Belleville Lake was our town's biggest attraction, yet the only people who could enjoy the lake are those who could afford their own boat. And they also had to have enough money to bring it back and forth and or have property off of the lake. This brings us to our business idea, Kayak Shack. Kayak Shack is a kayak and canoe rental business that will be located in Horizon Park off of the lake and will bring summer fun for everyone. Next slide, please. As we mentioned, there is nothing else for us to do in our small town. Outside of the few town activities such as the Strawberry Festival or weekly concerts in the park, which only happen on certain evenings, there's nothing to do. With that said, Belleville is home to Lower Huron Metro Park, which is not far from our desired location and will be our closest and direct competitor. However, most people still leave town to go to Canton, Ann Arbor, Detroit, or others to find some sort of summer fun. Our closest direct competitor would be Gallup Park, which is located in the west end of Ann Arbor, a mere 30-minute drive from our hometown. And even then, that's more of an active ride, while we offer still water riding, which would be a safer option for a family-friendly outing. Next slide, please. Our target market would include 2 groups. The first group is families. Canoes allow multiple people to be able to enjoy the lake at once, all for one price. This would be a memorable outing for parents of smaller children or bonding time for families with older children. Next slide. Our second group would be young to middle-aged adults who enjoy being fit, being outdoors, finding new workout routines, or those who just want a relaxing activity to clear their mind. Between Belleville and the surrounding Van Buren Township and Sumter Township, 45% of the population are between the ages of 18 and 65. And we believe that a large portion of the population would fit into our target market, given that we have a larger than average population of people who work in the entertainment, sports, and media occupations, as well as farming, fishing, and forestry occupations. Next slide, please. Now, what sets us apart from the competition, both directly and indirectly, would be the technology of our product. We want to use the technology of bird scooters or Mogo bikes on our boats as a form of architectural innovation. The idea is that our boats will have some sort of sensor and locking mechanism that is calibrated with the dock and an app, and you will be charged from the moment that the boat is unlocked using the app to the moment it is clicked back into place. Selena and I are not engineers, and if we were to obtain the funds from this competition, our next step would be to connect with someone who can transform this technology into a reality.
So in addition to innovation, one of our main values is social impact. So we are going to have a great social impact by partnering with the city of Belleville itself, as well as Johnny's Grill, which is a very popular restaurant right off the lake. We'll also donate a portion of our profits to Pure Michigan, which will help us maintain the lake. So results from these activities will be increased tourism to Belleville, as well as increased revenue to local shops. And we'll have a beautiful lake that will hopefully attract more customers to enjoy our wonderful lake and hopefully kayak as well. So now let's take a look at the numbers. We plan on starting with 10 kayaks as well as 10 canoes and 40 life jackets because safety is one of our main priorities. The biggest cost will be the docking system itself with the sensors, as well as the app, which will allow the customers to lock and unlock the kayaks from the dock. Other costs will be safety certifications and rental space. So the grand total estimated startup cost will be $55,200. Our estimated revenue is based on a few things. So unfortunately, Michigan does get cold and no one wants to kayak on a frozen lake. So we plan to be operational May through September, which is about 150 days. Plan on having 15 customers a day and charging $40 for a 2-hour rental. So this gives us an estimated summer revenue of $90,000. Once you take away those startup costs, we will break even in the first season with profits of about $43,800. So in terms of our grand plan, right now we're in phase 2, which consists of pitching to various competitions. We generated this idea back in 2018. Our next phase will be to connect with engineers and app developers, as Taylor previously said. And if all goes as planned, we should launch our business in 2023. So with that, we just want to thank you so much for your time. And we're just here to bring summer fun to everyone with Kayak Shack. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Taylor and Selena. And now the judges, do your best 2 to 3 questions.
Great job, ladies. This is Denise Graves. I had a quick question because I found myself doing this, going to a lake to try to rent something and they're all out. So is part of your app going to be the opportunity to see if there is product available, maybe rent the products so that I know when I go there, I am going to be able to have something to rent?
That's a great question. So as of right now, our idea is simply just to have the app be something that unlocks and locks the boat, because you're charged from the second it's unlocked to the second it's locked back into place. So as of right now, that's not part of our plan, but it's definitely something we could take into consideration for the future.
Have you factored operating costs into your cost? You know, like I live downtown Grand Rapids, so I'm constantly hearing the scooters and the bikes going back and forth, and I see the vans picking them up and moving them because people don't return them. So have you factored the logistics and the transfer of getting things back where they belong, and then the maintenance of the kayaks and the equipment itself?
Yes, so if a kayak isn't returned, we're going to have a little feature on the app. It's kind of like if you've ever watched Netflix for too long, it says, "Are you still there?" So after a certain number of hours, like 4 hours, we'll send you a little notification, ask if you're still kayaking. And if there's no response within an hour, then we'll be able to track on the app map as part of our idea and see where it is to return it properly to the dock.
Quick follow-up to that, because that's a great question. Having worked with the city when they launched the scooters and then the bikes, and still currently working with their mobility program, the operational cost on that is a very relevant question. because the number of times that those scooters and bikes are parked where they shouldn't be, having to find them and all of that. So I just think it's something to keep in mind because that's time, and who's gonna do it? Are you gonna hire people to do it? And I think the other part of it is, I'm not so sure how comprehensive or how sophisticated your app would need to be for that. I wasn't sure if you had researched what the actual cost for that is. I don't know if 20,000 might be on the low end for something like that, so something to keep in mind. So I wasn't sure how you researched that. And again, the operational cost to me, or I was thinking the same thing, having had some experience with what's going on in Grand Rapids. So some things to keep in mind.
Thank you for that. I think one of the things that we were thinking about when coming up with that is, yes, bird scooters and bikes, they're all on land, so they're easy to be left behind. Our boats are very, you're in the middle of the lake. It's going to be kind of hard to leave them in the middle of the lake. So our hope is that people will return them. So our operational costs won't have to be quite as high as maybe they are with the Mogo bikes or the bird scooters. And then in terms of the app developer, we looked up what the cost for an app developer would be. And so that's how we came up with the $20,000.
Great. Thanks a lot, judges, for your questions. And thanks a lot, Taylor and Selena, for your presentation. Now we're going to give the judges a minute to tabulate their scores while Foreign House prepares.
Thank you.
If you ever get a chance to head out to Belleville, they've got a great high school football team there. Produce a lot of big time college football players for a town its size. All right, you've got about 20 seconds to take a deep breath, and then the stage will be yours.
Okay. All right. This is Foreign House. Foreign House is a startup company based in Lansing, Michigan, geared towards providing high-quality content through various sectors, but primarily through our magazine, film studio, and streaming service. Foreign House has been established with the ambition of bringing the beauty and diversity. Today's world has shifted towards a me-centric society. We are very concerned about ourselves. We do not take the time to appreciate everything that's around us. In addition, we are so divided. Everything is so Black, white, and Hispanic. We are concerned about things that we don't have control over, such as our skin color, our race, and our background. We are like oil and water. Through Foreign House, we want to create a melting pot society where we can coexist together as a community where we celebrate our charisma, uniqueness, and talent. Foreign House is here to change the narrative from me to us. I realize that in a world full of humans, we are lacking humanity. We fail to accept others for who they are and create all these labels and categories and judge others when they do not fit into those boxes. As a Black Muslim woman, I oftentimes felt like I was not welcome in certain spaces and felt the need to change who I was and my ways to make others around me feel comfortable. But the truth is, I do belong in any space I put myself in, such as the pageant I did last August through the Miss Michigan USA pageant system. The mission and vision for Foreign House really is to promote diversity and inclusion within the social media industry and also just create a movement for change. Change begins with me. Change begins with you. Change begins with us. We are failing to realize that we are an agent of change. We make the change we wish to see in the world, but oftentimes we expect others to make that change. But change begins when we all hold ourselves accountable and hold each other accountable to make that change. And through our platform, we want to give others a space to tell their story. If you have not heard about Foreign House up until now, I apologize because you're missing out on the buzz. Foreign House has artists and influencers who are the face of our organization. And then we also have a management team that is behind the scenes. Some of our artists and influencers include Dryan, and he doesn't need an introduction because you can see his talent. And he is from the Philippines, and he's very popular on social media. We have others like Sade, who's a model who just did the New York Fashion Week. And then we have storytellers like Malola. We have Rams, who just does many things, and he is very popular on TikTok. And then we have shoe designers like Sam, and then musicians like Zaire, who was flown out by Justin Timberlake to do an EP. And then we're also backed by celebrities like Mindless Behavior, Ray Ray. And then this is our management team who ensures Foreign House is and what it needs to be. Combining our statistics, Foreign has over 8.5 million TikTok followers combined and over 750,000 followers on Instagram. And we do have a large target audience, but through our Instagram influencers and artists, we are able to reach a lot of people. And currently we just launched in March, but we're already reaching millions of people. This is the timeline of when we hope to accomplish certain things, but our primary focus right now is to make sure that Foreign House is 100% established. In terms of our business model, Foreign House has 3 main ways of making revenue, and that is through our brand partnerships, concerts and live events, and our film studio, which will be rented out to creators around our community to be able to utilize the space for their content needs. And then it'll allow us to expand on our operations and have content. With the money we went today, we will be able to utilize that money for research and development. Social media is more than just likes, the number of followers and interaction. Foreign House, social media is a movement for change, and we want to be able to understand the mindset of the people that we serve. So some of that funding will be going into the research and development. And then some of our other fundings will be going into branding and web development. We have a story, we have a vision, and we want to be able to showcase that in a way that everyone can understand. And then we will also put some of that money into merchandising because we want a lot of people to be a part of our movement, and we want them to proudly wear and be a part of our movement. I want to be able to say that our goal is to ensure that Foreign House is a leading social media brand. I do not want to make promises that I cannot keep, but I will make you a promise today. Foreign House will become a household name. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but 5 to 7 years from now, when your family, friends,
all right, we're at time.
All right.
I appreciate that. Let's go to the judges and let them ask 2 to 3 questions.
Great presentation, thank you. Take me for a minute. It took me a minute to understand what you were offering, but then you got there from I think it was maybe like a community, a service type of an organization, people to go and feel like they're part of a community, and you can help them get connected to a bigger part of the community. And that art was fascinating, just saying. Tell me a little bit about, so as an artist, they come to you, do you charge a fee? Do they pay you a royalty? I mean, what is the way that you monetize what you have available?
So currently all of our artists and influencers that are within us do not get compensated at all. They're with us with the intention to get compensated in the future. So currently right now, nobody gets paid. And as we continue to grow and establish our brand, what we will do, the way we will be bringing money is through our film studio, brand partnerships, and other services like, what is it called? So we have many different ways of bringing in revenue, and we will have contracts and everything like that to ensure that everyone gets paid their fair amount. And then I do also want to kind of visually show you what Foreign House is.
Who are we? We are a community of artists with a mission to promote diversity and inclusion within the industry. We create a bridge for different communities to come together. Our members come from all over the world and each have something unique to offer. We want to inspire all of our audiences, no matter their background, to pursue their dreams and passions. We believe that everyone has the potential to be successful. With the lack of diversity and many of the conflicts in our society, many people lose confidence in themselves and lose the motivation needed to pursue their goals. Through our platform, we give our members a voice to tell their story. Our vision is to make a positive impact. We oftentimes seek change in our society. However, that change begins with us. We are here to change the narrative. So who are we? We are Foreign House.
And I hope that can kind of visually show you what I'm trying to get at.
All right. And with that, in the spirit of moving along, we do have to move into the portion where the judges take a minute to record their scores. Next up is going to be Forever Great. So Forever Great, you can get ready for your presentation. All right, Chad, in about 20 seconds, the stage will be yours. Take a deep breath.
Good.
You are good to go.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Judges, thank you for being here. My name is Chad Howell, and my business is called Forever Great. About a year ago, I was on a hike out in Grand Haven, Michigan, when I came across the beach just littered with trash. Now, this isn't the first time I've ever seen this, but despite living in Michigan my whole life, it's the first time I stopped to wonder what's really happening to our Great Lakes. So I went home. Oh, there we go. So I went home and did the research. I found that 22 million pounds of plastic enter the Great Lakes every single year. That plastic gets out there and just breaks down smaller and smaller into microplastics, which gets so small we consume them through our drinking water. And over 50 million people rely on the Great Lakes for drinking water. And we consume up to a credit card worth of plastic every week without even realizing. And on the right here is an illustration of every year. Now, I dug in further and found that the largest source of microplastic pollution in freshwater is clothing industry waste. And the clothing industry is the second largest pollutant industry in the world. And the average American throws away 82 pounds of clothing every year. So at the intersection of all this is where Forever Great was born. Forever Great is a lifestyle clothing brand, raising awareness for pollution in the Great Lakes, creating a circular economy within the clothing industry, and building communities for change. Now, we do this through the sale of our merchandise, which is made from 100% recycled plastic. There's 8 plastic bottles per shirt. We also have a Give Great initiative in which we give 8% of all of our profits to Alliance for Great Lakes. And we host beach cleanups and other events to get out in the community and engage and push forward our mission. Now, our model is fairly straightforward, your classic direct-to-consumer retail strategy. We launched on our websites and posted some pop-up shops and as well utilize social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Now, our target market on a narrow focus is West Michigan residents in the Millennial and Gen Z category, which is roughly 450,000, but even smaller to those interested in outdoors, the Great Lakes, those that are adventurous, care about the environment. It's your campers, it's your hikers. And as you can see here, customers like this. And our product is perfect for it because it's a dry fit athletic type of material, and it's perfect for any outdoor adventure. This was our hashtag FGFam campaign that we did on social media, encouraging customers to share photos with a chance to be featured on our page. But we also know that the mission of Forever Great is something that can resonate with a lot of different demographics. We do well with the 40-somethings, such as Alan, an avid fisherman, or even the baby boomer category, such as Lisa and Craig, a couple of lake lovers. And not just demographically, but also geographically, as Forever Great's been sold in 13 states. So we really feel like the season the potential is high here for Forever Great. The ceiling is high. We launched on Earth Day, April 22nd this year with our website and social media. And I knew we didn't really have an advertising budget, so we blitzed the local news. And we were able to get in Fox, ABC, Grand Rapids Business Journal. And we're continuing this by utilizing brand ambassadors, connecting with Michigan travel bloggers, aiming for about 10 of each to hopefully gain about 100 to 300,000 people of an audience. And then brand partnerships with state parks or local breweries or local businesses such as Public Thread here in Grand Rapids, which we're working with right now. The competition in the clothing industry is pretty steep, of course. There's a lot of Michigan and Great Lakes brands, and even a few with similar missions to ours on the right-hand side here, Oshkosh, North Shore Vibe, and Michigan Overboard. But the good thing in that area, there's really no big player yet. So it's kind of an even playing field. We feel our branding separates ourselves, just our name, messaging, and that we also have a high quality material compared to some of our competitors. And it's a nice athletic feel, which a lot of them don't offer. And we also give the highest percentage, which our customers care about. So the team, I handle all the business side of things. I'm a marketing and finance major at Grand Valley, but I have a creative team. I have a copywriter, Adam, from College of Creative Studies, Nick, a photographer from Grand Valley, and Heather, a digital art major here at Grand Valley. And the other thing is I built valuable partnerships with our manufacturer, nonprofit, potential retailers. And I also have about 5 or 6 entrepreneurship mentors that I go to for guidance and advice on things. So year one, we're approaching 10,000 by year end. Hopefully after the holidays come through, we'll get there. And then year two, with a goal of being in about 3 retail stores and further increasing our product offerings. And then year 3, by really ramping up that footprint in retail and really fulfilling our brand identity and just increasing our processes and efficiencies. Just a couple milestones to note here on the timeline. Joined the 77 Idea Lab, which is the student accelerator at Grand Valley, helped bring my idea to life. And then down in the fall, I was fortunate to be on an NPR Michigan radio show called Stateside to talk about Forever Great and recognizing the Stargard 100 as one of the top 100 entrepreneurs in the state for the year. And then went down to Western to speak to a business sustainability class. So when we look at the funding, this is how we would allocate it. We have customers telling us, we want to see hoodies or we want to see more products, more shirts, and we're ready. We just need the funding to do so. And then marketing and advertising as well. So just one final note, Forever Great is not a hypothesis. We are a real live business with a real customer base and a proven proof of concept. And the question now is scale. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I'm looking for you to join me in. So being green never goes out of style.
All right. Thank you, Chad. We are at the time limit. Thank you for a good presentation, Forever Great. And now judges, it's up to you, 2 to 3 questions.
Chad.
Yeah, nice work, Chad. Appreciate that.
Good.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, it's all good.
Just a question on that, scaling wise. What kind of relationships do you have set up? How quickly could you scale? And are you thinking about, broadening beyond like Great Lakes area? You mentioned you're in other states already, but how far have you thought about expanding?
Mm-hmm. Well, so we have a pretty solid relationship so far with our manufacturer. There's definitely some improvements to be made there as far as scale, but it's been a learning process for me, and that's something I'm working on, increasing that side. But as far as scale wise across the nation, I notice a lot through the start of this that yes, Michigan is a big state, but there's 8 states that touch the Great Lakes, and they all have similar feelings and sentiment about the Great Lakes that we share here in Michigan. And not only that, but there's people that have grown up in those 8 states that have then left and gone across the nation, and they still feel that same way about their homes. So that's why we're seeing sales in states beyond the region, Arizona, California, states like that. I think the ceiling here is very high, and a lot of people really resonate with the mission and the feelings that we're trying to capture and say, hey, we all feel this way about the Great Lakes. Now let's do something to make sure nothing happens to them and we can pass that feeling on from generation and across the country as well.
Chad, this is Jeff. Good work. You talked, what does the platform look like today? You talked about people interested in hoodies. What do you have? Shorts? Is it just t-shirts? Like, just kind of step us through that right now.
Yeah, so we just have short sleeve and long sleeve tees right now. And that is just kind of, when we launched, we wanted to get out what we could to see how the customers felt about it before we start investing a bunch of money into further product extensions. But now we're at the point of we're hearing from customers and we're hearing from people via social media or email or friends and family, and just that sort of way that they want to see hoodies, or they want to see hats, or they want to see new designs come out. And we've been working on it, and we're ready for that. And now it's just a question of making it happen financially, so we can provide that for the customers.
So Chad, building a little bit on the last two questions around scale, what are your current costs and the profitability? So what are your COGS versus profitability, and how are you positioned to scale with supply chain?
Right. So right now, short sleeves, we are about $9.75. We retail for $25. Long sleeves about $13.15. We retail for $30. And that we can get down as we scale. So those profits can increase even more. And we also note that we can raise our price a little bit. We kind of tried to come in lower just to get a bigger pool of customers at the start, but the customers realize that part of their sale is going towards solving the problem. And they also understand that high quality materials often come with a high price. So there's definitely room to stretch that, but that's how it's looking right now.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chad. Some great questions from the judges. We're going to give them now a minute to record their scores, and then we're going to go to the next team, an interestingly named team, Alternate. So Alternate, you can get ready and do your tech check. And Alternate is our last team, so we're coming into the home stretch. Some good stuff so far. I've seen a lot of smiles from the judges. Kim did sharpen a knife earlier, though. That was a little bit awkward. No, I'm kidding.
How did I miss that?
Because you keep moving, Raul.
My laptop was about to die. I needed to get to it, to my charger. Sorry, guys.
All right. Alternate, you've got about 10 seconds here to make an appearance.
Sorry, 1 second.
And the stage is yours whenever you are ready.
Hi, I'm Graham Petrucci, and I am the founder of Alternate. It is an organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, non-processed, and vegan trail mix. I was a college athlete at the Division I level and extremely health conscious, and I was on a strict diet. So I really am passionate about food and staying in shape. I started this due to my father's intolerance to gluten, soy, and dairy. Trail mix was always his favorite snack growing up. And when he became intolerant to these items, he no longer could consume the trail mixes that he would like. So I thought about bringing up a company that would be able to give him what he wants and many other people. So the campaign big idea here is to have a monopoly on the trail mix industry by providing the best tasting and healthiest trail mix out there. I would like to branch into Petrucci Foods, providing a multitude of food products and possibly drinks. These products would consist of granola, bites, bars, cereals, milks, pastas, coconut chips, and more. So the target audience, after doing my research, I have found that pretty much all ages and genders consume trail mix a fair amount. I would like to target those individuals that are more fit and active because I feel like they will really be tailored to our niche market. I think it can be used on the go as a meal replacement, pre-post workout use, and again, targeting people that typically eat healthy. So we intend to sell each bag for around $11.99 at farmers markets. The net profit here that we are seeing is $5.06 per bag. We intend to sell in retail at $6.99. The net profit is $1.87. So our main competitor is Power Up, and right now they have 13,000 monthly sales on Amazon, which equates to 143K a month and 1,706,000 annually just on Amazon. So I think this is a great opportunity to get into this niche market. And the people that I've talked to just don't think that this company tastes that great. Like there's nothing that sweet about it, which is where I believe that we can come in. We have dark chocolate coconut chips that are much sweeter. They don't provide chocolate. It also has more protein, more fiber, more calcium, more iron, less sugar, and the same amount of calories. So our marketing strategy, we will be launching a large Instagram campaign to drive people to our website as well as Amazon. We have influencers lined up with tens of thousands of followers, which I believe will really help. The research that I've done has shown that influencer marketing in food incentivizes an engagement rate of 7.38%, which is 5 times better than in-house means. Food companies typically earn around $6.50 for each dollar they spend on influence or campaigns, which I believe is pretty tremendous. I believe there's a misconception with trail mix. I think a lot of people think it's a lot healthier than it truly is. It's heavily salted. There's a lot of candy. It's roasted. It includes pretzels, yogurt, cereal that typically isn't that great for you. It has very high levels of sodium, unhealthy preservatives, artificial colors, flavors, high level of sugar, unnecessary calories. It also can contribute to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, liver problems, and much more. So Ultranauts' use of Celtic sea salt, which is different than others, it's done through a process where sun-dried and aired in clay ponds. It has healing properties, helps you achieve your recommended intake of sodium, balances out minerals in your body, promotes brain function, alkalizes the body, improves cardiovascular health, stabilizes blood sugar, improves energy, prevents muscle cramps, and more. We're also using dark chocolate, and when you use it in the right amount, it can be good for you. So it has a powerful source of antioxidants, improves blood flow, lowers blood pressure, reduces the risk of heart disease, protects skin, improves brain function, and more. So the summary here is we are trying to make a positive impact on the food industry and provide a clean and healthier food. Sorry. We're trying to provide clean food for healthier living and believe that each food product is thoughtfully chosen. The money that I'm trying to acquire would be used to securing a manufacturer out of Battle Creek, and also.
All right, and that's time, unfortunately. Grant, thanks a lot for your presentation. Really enjoyed it. Now the judges get 2 to 3 minutes to ask questions.
Grant, good work. This is Jeff, and I'm a trail mix guy, so I can appreciate this presentation. I'm a second nature guy, though, so I guess when you Google trail mix, there's thousands of them, right? How is this going to differentiate from all your other competitors out there?
Well, again, going back to the fact that it is organic, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, non-processed, and I think it really does taste better. I know that might sound dumb, but I would like for you to try it based off of that. Yeah, just going back to taste though, I really think it tastes great and it is the healthiest out there.
Okay. To follow that up, have you done some voice of the customer? I mean, this isn't concepts. Have you prototyping and gone out to the market to get some feedback?
I mean, amongst family and friends, I'm intending to sell it at farmers markets coming up soon here. But besides that, no, I unfortunately just have been giving it to family and friends. But the ones that have tried it have really liked it so far.
Okay.
So good job. If I could build on that, how do you plan to educate consumers that this is so much healthier than all the other trail mixes out there?
That is a very good question. I think the back of the label, which I'm changing, which is why I did not include it, it talks about all the health benefits on there. But I think, yeah, going back to the back of the label, having it say Celtic sea salt, which is much better for you, dark chocolate, no preservative whatsoever. I think
Hey, Grant, let me interrupt you for a second because I appreciate where you're going with that, but you have to get the product in front of people so that they read the label. So that the reason that's a very good question is how are you going to do that? Right. And I think so you kind of went to step 2 and skipped the step 1, which is how do you get it in their hand? Because I'm a granola guy too. I mean, I'm a trail mix guy too, and I appreciate where you're coming from. The other part, and I'm sorry, Kim, I have to ask this question because it dawned, I think it's important. The niche, the production to me is going to be critical because the healthy eating is that much more expensive. So I'm wondering what that looks like. I mean, I work with a cold brew company right now that their production costs were so high that they went into a Spartan stores and they learned a lot of lessons from it. They went into it, hey, let's go, this is it. And they learned a lot of lessons. They've taken a step back and now, they learned a lot from it. So, but part of it was the production was so high that they have to figure out how do we price it. And that was one of the issues. So again, I don't know what you've done with that, but healthy foods are very expensive to make, right? That's why the margins are higher. So, and maybe I missed something. Maybe you talked about those costs, but that to me is a critical part of it.
No, I think you bring up a tremendous point. And to answer your question, I'm not buying in bulk right now. Well, I am from like Nino Salvaggio's, but getting a wholesale manufacturer, I believe, would really help. Again, I think people though will pay the price if it does taste really good and is much better for you than, let's say, a Cars trail mix.
Yeah, so
All
just
right,
to
and with
build
that-
on, go
Sorry,
ahead.
we do have to move on. I know there's a lot of great questions and the judges, I'm sure, are going to have a fun judges room this time. Here's what's going to happen next. Because that was our last presentation, now we're going to send the judges off to go and do the hard part of their job and deliberate. We said we'd announce things at 5 o'clock. We're actually going to push that back to 5:05 to give them a little bit of extra time, so we don't want it to make it any harder. I do want to go ahead and first of all, thank all the teams who did a great job. It's good to see young people do great presentations. I also want to thank Denise, Kim, Jeff, Raul, and Zach. Wonderful job, asked some great questions, and I wish we actually had more time. So with that, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. I'm going to make sure that the virtual champagne is on virtual ice so that we can announce the prize winners at 5:05. So thanks a lot, everybody.